The following is an overview of Manitok Energy, as well as some sales tips and tricks how to use your CRM to be more effective targeting the account. Where I am right now is I'm looking at my Interlead dashboard, the Mindapore area, just kind of scanning it, seeing what the trends are and who's been active in the area. And I see here Manitok's taken out a couple well licenses, so I want to give them a call and talk to them a little bit. I go to my CRM and I find the account Manitok Energy. Come down, take a look at this, confirm that, hey, they operate in two different areas, but right now they're focused in on the Mindapore area. I can go down and take a look at the well license information that we have here. So here's a bunch of well licenses, total of 63. And when I come in and I take a look at those, I can see here from an activity perspective, it's been quite some time since the last time that they were drilling in any particular market. So I could say to myself, well, I want to drill down a little bit further and find out, well, what's the interest, where's in this tough market, how are they going out and doing some drilling. I click on my link to the BOE report and it pops up the BOE report for me, and specifically for Manitok Energy, and I come in and I take a look at it and I say, hey, great, look at, they've announced up to $10 million in private placement. And then I can see here they've got some of their financial results and and an operational update. So I'll drill down into that a little bit more and bring up. And what I'm interested in right now is I want to see what they're doing from a drilling perspective. So I search this and I see Manitok anticipates to begin drilling program in the second half of the year. So they're going to spend up to 11 million bucks on drilling and completions. So I now know that I've got a couple wells in there. Maybe there's more. I don't know how big the program's going to be, but they've got about $11 million budget. So I'm taking notes on this, getting ready for my call with the company and the people that I've identified in the company. I like to put some geographic references. It helps me kind of frame things before I talk to the customer. So I take a look at it and I can see here this would be essentially the Red Deer area that they were drilling in, and then here are the well licenses they've done. And I also can see some of the different facilities that they've had to put into those different areas. I come down and I look at some of the analytics tools and say, okay, well, what is the terminating zone that they're going into? And then I'm also interested to see what the substance is. So I know that these guys are pretty much a pure play oil, and I could see the terminating zone that they're in. I've built some other geographic references because I always like to do comparables and say, okay, well, who else in that area is doing the similar things that maybe I've done business with that I can leverage in my my call. So I went in and I just built a dropped a box in the general area that they're in, and I said, well, who else is in that area that might be able to make some references? And I can see, well, Encana's a really big player there, and then Husky very small, and a couple other mid-sized companies on that side of it. I'm also just going to go through and take a look at some of the different other characteristics like terminating zones, but one that I looked at was substance, and I could see that only a small portion of the wells are crude oil. The majority of them are natural gas. So I was like, well, that's interesting. Maybe I wanted to expand my search a little bit and find more about the guys that are doing crude wells in there. So what I did is I just did a quick filter on the map and I put in the terminating zone that Manitok's using, and I said, who else is drilling into that terminating zone? And then I could see that everything is just a little bit east of where Manitok is. So they're right on the edge of this particular play. This is kind of in the heart of it. And I take a look and say, well, who are the primary players in this area? I come over and I confirm again the substance side of it. And now I can see, okay, I'm in the right area. I'm looking at the right companies from a comparables perspective. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, okay, who else is in that area that I can use as a reference when I'm talking to Manitok or trying to find out some more information? I look at Cenovus, they're a big company, difficult for me to find information about the specific area. So I'm going to target here a little bit about Cardinal Energy and say, okay, what is it about that particular account that I might be able to reference before I give Manitok a call? I come into my account record at Cardinal Energy and I want to drill down, and I can see, yeah, they are specifically targeting that area. That's where their primary focus would be. One thing I use quite a bit is this tool that we built. It's not the rig locator that you subscribe to, but it's a summary of information related inside of my CRM on their drilling program. And this is the last 60 days, but I want to take this back a little bit and I want to say, well, what does it look like in the last 120 days from a drilling perspective. And I'm going to go back even just a little bit further just so I have a nice sample of data, and I'll run the report. Again, I'm in Cardinal Energy right now, but I'm doing a comparison of what they're doing versus what Manitok is doing. And I can see that they've been typically using ensign drilling, which is great, but what I'm really interested in, each one of these bars represents the day that well was spudded. So what I could see here is I've got on the 5th day of May, and of April, I guess, and then we come down here and we take a look at that as the 19th day. So we're kind of looking at about a 10-day or 14, 15-day drilling program. Same thing over here. We've got the 5th, and then we come to the 17th. So typically Cardinal Energy is drilling wells about every 15 days in that particular area. You know, if you have run 2 rigs, you're looking at in that time frame, you're looking at the ability to do about 5 or 6 wells. So that starts to frame things. We've got $11 million. We're looking at 15-day programs. We know our costs have come down. What products and services does this company need on that? And better than that, you could come in and say, have I done anything with Cardinal? What were some of the challenges that they faced? And what are some of the things that I can do to help them out? We also come down and look at their drilling information and summarize it, but also let's take a look at all the facilities that they've been putting in place to give us an idea of what type of facilities that Manitok's going to put in. And then I'll also look at Cardinal and see if I know anybody here that I might be able to call up and ask them if they can provide me a little bit of information about that particular area, some of the challenges, what are the things that I have to know before I give Manitok a call to prepare for my call. And then as I come back, I've got some pretty good information. I've got some comparables with Cardinal Energy. I know where they're doing. I know they're drilling wells about every 15 days. I can come down here. They've been typically using precision drilling for all of their drilling on that side of it, and then they've been using a couple different engineering companies. So I have all of that preparing for my my call. I'm now going to come in and I'm going to take a look at the different people that I want to focus in on calling. Here's just a sample of contacts that are out there, most of them at the C-level side of it, but I'm going to click through each one of these and go in and see if I've had any conversations, take a look at anything I may have done, and then of course I'm going to leverage LinkedIn. So I click into Adams and I see Adam exploring new opportunities. Well, I'm going to try something totally different. Usually when I'm calling an account, I like to talk to somebody that's been working there, but in this case Adam's no longer working there, but he's going to have a lot of great information for me to help me understand what the nuances of that particular account is, or at least I think he is. So I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to offer him the ability to say, hey, maybe I can help you with your job search if you can meet with me and talk to me a little bit about Manitok Energy and help me prepare for my sales call. So that's a quick summary. So when we look at it, you know, some of the things that we know, that Manitok is in the market. They've raised some money on that side of it. They're going to spend about $10 million. Their area right now of focus is in the Midnapore area. They're looking at oil as their primary substance, and then some of the other companies that are referenced in that area are Cardinal, and we know it takes about 15 days for them to drill wells in that market. So that gives you a good idea of the kind of preparation that you want to do as you're getting ready for a sales call, and how to prepare yourself to be competitive in this tough market.